Get your man the flute to play song, the fuck.
Diego, it's everyone, Kajima Toshi, and welcome back to episode number 136 of the Inline G Flute podcast with me, your host, motherfucking Inline G. Welcome, everybody, and if this is your first time at the Inline G Flute podcast, it's fucking lovely to have you here. Nice to see you. First and foremost, this is a flute podcast and occasionally a classical music podcast in general. Sometimes I'll throw in episodes that I deem to be relevant or adjacent to the classical music and flute worlds. And for the third year in a row, I have done a Cologne Karneval special. Why, dear listener, I hear you ask, what the fuck has a flute podcast got to do with Carnival? Well, I'll tell you what, it's because I fucking want to. I live here and I want to do it, alright? My podcast, my rules. This podcast is a dictatorship, not a democracy. So you're getting a Carnival episode, whether you fucking like it or not. So regular listeners to the Inline G podcast, listen, you know it's the same as every year. If you're here for flute and classical music, this one episode, maybe just skip it. Come back next week. We have a great episode planned for next week. Come back then. I'll see you then. But you have to allow me my yearly indulgence to just, I'm only human. So I enjoy this episode very much every year. I look forward to it. This one's for Gareth. So, this week's episode is a comprehensive history of Kölner Karneval music and how it has evolved over the years, right from fucking day one. And I have a very special guest to help explain it to us. It is local DJ, podcaster, and music expert, and Fortuna Köln superfan, Marcus Can't Dance. So, from Willy Ostermann to Bläck Fööss and Höhner to LSE and BAP, right up to Querbeat and Kasalla and Cat Ballou, right up to this year's fucking Carnival song. Marcus talks us through how the music has evolved throughout the years, its links to left-wing politics, and what we can expect next from the Carnival scene, or what we can hope for next anyway. And it was all filmed, by the way, in the fucking gorgeous aesthetic. Look how pretty this bar is. Video, watch this in video. If you're listening to audio on Spotify, just switch on the video for a few seconds to see the pub. It is the Hammond Bar down in the Kölner Südstadt, which is well worth a fucking visit. Huge thank you to them and to Andy down there. So, guys, enjoy this episode. And again, if you're new around here, maybe check out a wee earlier episode. Go to last week's episode. I know you're thinking, I don't like the fucking flute. I don't care about classical music. You're probably right. But go check it out. You might like it. Suck it and see. So, without any further ado, here is the third Kölner Karneval special on the Inline G podcast. And this time it is with Marcus Can't Dance.
I don't know. I'm not a historian. I'm also talking.
Don't worry about that.
This screen is empty. I have the playlist which we're going.
That's true.
We're going to talk about
whatsoever. That's great.
I've got no notes, but
I thought you were reading notes. That's
no,
so good.
I have no notes. So in 17 so and so, the French came, invaded the city, and when they left, the Prussians took control over the city. And the Prussians were very skeptical about what's happening on Carnival.
Yeah.
So that's when a couple of people, the famous author Wittgenstein, there was Wallraff, who was a guy who a place is named after. I think he was an art collector.
Okay.
And there was de Noël, which is another guy. Like I don't know what he did.
Very French name.
But they were guys from the Cologne, like upper class, from the bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
And they said, we ought to reinvent Carnival.
Okay.
And we ought to make it like it's in Venice. Like they liked Carnival in Venice, but and they wanted to do something. So they said, okay, how about we do on the Monday? Monday is usually the quietest day on Carnival. We do a big parade.
Okay.
So they invented basically the Rosenmontagszug, which is the highlight and the high point of Carnival this time around. And they said, we're going to do a parade around Neumarkt. And they went just around Neumarkt with their floats and stuff.
Just Neumarkt?
Yeah, just Neumarkt.
Well, they take like 10 minutes.
Yeah, right. But they went round and round. So they just,
Okay.
And they took one guy and they dressed him up and they put him on a very high wagon. Yeah. And they named him the hero.
Yeah.
And he later became the prince.
Okay.
And then they added the maiden and the peasant later on.
To make the famous Dreigestirn.
Making the famous Dreigestirn. And the hero was the first guy to be like the hero, like the one that everybody was, he was paying the drinks for everyone. He was doing.
Which also, I feel like if you're the hero, people should be buying you drinks.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to be a hero who has to buy drinks for everybody. Fuck them.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, so the hero basically he needed a theme song, right? Because every hero needs his theme song.
Yeah.
And so this guy, his name, I have to read this name. His name is Christian Samuel Schier.
Wow,
he composed this track, or he composed the Kölner Melodie, and then Peter de Winter wrote the lyrics to it.
What?
And of course, this was before recorded music, right?
Yeah.
Because I think the phonograph was invented in like 1877, so a couple of years later.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
But in 1823, you didn't have any recorded music, so there was just notes.
Yeah.
And the Kölsch band, the Kallendresser, were kind enough to record this song and put it on streaming. So we can listen to it, actually. So this is Herbei, Herbei, ihr Leute by the Kallendresser. And this is like the first carnival song.
Do you want me to play it or do you want you to play it? I have it as well.
Just if you
This is
you
the
have
first
it.
one on your playlist, man. I listened to this today. I'm glad you gave me the context now because I was going, what is this, man?
Yeah, it's the first one. It's the first carnival song.
Okay,
to
so
ever,
I'm going to
like,
play it out loud. Also, I have to point out I'm not going to play any more than 30 seconds because I will get sued.
Yeah, don't get sued, please.
the last
And
thing
please
we do.
buy music.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very important. Yeah. It's very 1823.
Man, I want to drink now, yeah. It's very 1823, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Although
that's enough.
Beethoven was not
Yeah.
going out in 1823, to be
Yeah,
fair.
Beethoven was around like there was like
Not far from here,
yes,
Beethoven.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
no, he's
far
in
from
Vienna at that point, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I heard you talking about how he might have a Kölsch accent.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
a whole big thing, isn't
Yeah.
it? That Beethoven has a Kölsch accent.
Maybe Bach has a East German accent, which would be even like funnier. But,
Yeah.
So
that's
this
is that
is
what
the
we call?
start.
Is that the first official carnival song?
This is the first official carnival song.
Okay.
I feel like we need to make a distinction right here because
Ooh, okay.
yeah. So carnival
I know what you're
music,
going to say. Okay.
carnival music and Kölsch music are two different spectrums
Okay,
or
what-
two different circles on the same Venn diagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, what constitutes a carnival song?
I think a carnival song has to have something to do with celebrating. Like it has to only work in that context.
Okay.
Like if you you can have a song that works on carnival, but that is not a
A
carnival.
carnival song, yeah.
So sometimes it's like debatable what's a carnival song and what
Oh, I
isn't.
know it is, yeah.
But this is very much a carnival song because the lyrics are all about how the hero is there and he's not going to be around for long.
Okay.
And so you have to all come and witness the hero.
Do you think
of
a celebratory nature is important to constitute a carnival song?
Yes, a celebratory, and it has to have to only work in that context.
Okay.
It's like it's kind of like a Christmas song. Like
I love that you
what
said this, man.
constitutes a Christmas
We talked
song?
about this, yeah. Christmas, yeah. Yeah, because what is a Christmas song then? That's an entirely similar argument.
Last Christmas
It's obviously a
technically
Christmas song.
is a Christmas song, but the
But it's not
lyrics
about, it's
are
not necessarily about Christmas, yeah.
It's just a love song, right?
It is, true, yeah, of course.
And I think that's why it like resonates with people. So and so is All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yeah.
So it's not about Christmas, but it's like a Christmas song, obviously. So
True.
Carnival songs don't have to be about carnival, but I think if they only work in that context, then they
Okay.
are. But
Any other criteria to make a carnival song? For example, should there be a bit of Kölsch in it?
yeah, I
If
think
it's purely
I think
in
it
normal
helps.
Deutsch, then that
I
doesn't count.
This song is in normal Deutsch.
Yeah,
like
I saw
Herbei,
that.
Herbei, ihr Leute is in normal Deutsch because back then Kölsch was the language of the people from the gutter, like the lower class. So they wouldn't write a song in Kölsch. That changed a couple of years after because there were like notes that they gave the people who another thing like in 1823 when they invented the Rosenmontagszug, they founded the Festkomitee, which is still
It's still
the
a thing. I know,
it's still the organization that organizes carnival, and that kind of got the Prussians off their back at first because the Prussians were skeptical about what they are doing in this like carnival thing.
So there's a bit of organization that goes, right, okay.
Right, and the Prussians were okay. You guys are responsible. You guys are in charge.
Yeah, there's a committee in charge.
Yeah, so we've
Very
got
German
we've
as
got
well,
it. So and the Festkomitee had like Sitzungen. So they on not the Festkomitee themselves. I mean, they do one, or a couple of Sitzungen. They have like a Prunksitzung and all of that stuff.
Okay.
But they have. So I'm not too much of an expert on this.
Yeah.
You have to get someone from any of the KGs.
The carnival clubs. Yeah,
the carnival clubs, the KGs. They founded shortly after the after the Festkomitee,
Yeah.
and they all had their own Sitzung, and they played music there, and they distributed the notes to the orchestra that was playing. Like all of the KGs had their own orchestra, they had their Sitzungskapelle, as you say.
I should explain quickly what a Sitzung is for anyone who doesn't speak German, but you could probably do a better job. I'm going to give it a crack. For me, a Sitzung is essentially kind of like a variety show.
It is, yeah.
You all sit down at big tables, you have beer there, there's a stage, you'll get traditional dance, traditional music, and it's just, it's kind of like a variety show of all things from Cologne.
And you have like spoken word artists who
bit of poetry, bit of stand-up comedy sometimes,
And in the background there's the Sitzungskapelle, like the big band who does all
accompany everything,
accompanying the music.
Yeah.
And when the time for recorded music came around, the first person to really be popular and writing their own songs in Kölsch language and making records out of that and playing like the big Karneval Sitzung was Willy Ostermann.
Yeah.
And his first smash hit is Dem Schmitzing-Frau ist durchgebrannt from 1906 or 07.
Isn't that mad? 1906 or 7, man.
Yeah.
I actually know the song. I'd heard it before.
And he speaks a very Mülheim Kölsch, like his accent.
Mülheim Kölsch?
Yeah.
Like, because Mülheim's around the corner from me. Is that still a thing, that Mülheim is a little bit different to their Kölsch?
It's very, very minor differences.
Okay, like, within Kölsch?
I can't even tell the differences.
Okay.
But I've been told that Willy Ostermann spoke a very Mülheimer Kölsch.
So Willy Ostermann's from Mülheim?
He's from Mülheim, yeah. And
because, I don't know, I know the name,
and
I'm familiar with Heimweh nach Köln, we're going to play next, I know that one. The only other thing I know is there's an arena in Leverkusen where the other sports teams play, which is called the Ostermann Arena.
Yeah, that has nothing to do.
No, nothing to do with Willy?
Nothing to do with Willy. Ostermann, I think, is a company from Leverkusen.
Fuck, okay. I thought it was with Willy, okay, never mind.
But that has nothing to do with Willy. But Willy Ostermann is like if he hadn't been around, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah.
Like, he was the godfather of everything that came after him. Like, he was a singer, a songwriter, musician, and he like wrote all the big carnival songs, and he left behind when he died in the 30s. He
insane.
left behind a body of work that is still very, very important to Carnival today. It's not like you're going to walk into a pub on Carnival and hear Willy Ostermann. But for example, for me, like my grandparents, so I lived a long time with my grandparents in Cologne, and Willy Ostermann songs were definitely being played.
I feel like the real traditionalists of Carnival do appreciate him. And I feel like everyone knows who Willy Ostermann is. Yeah. There is something, is there a statue or something, or a road named after him? There must be something in Köln. I feel like there is.
There's everything after him, basically. Yeah.
I mean, okay, I didn't know it was that far ago, though. In my head, it was sort of like the 40s, 50s.
Yeah.
Like the early 1900s is wild.
Early 1900s.
But Heimweh nach Köln, that's next song.
Heimweh nach
That
Köln,
is a bit of a classic. You even hear that these days, I think.
You do, but you hear like re-recordings from newer bands. Like I think Bläck Fööss did a version. But,
that's right, yeah.
But Heimweh nach Köln, I mean, I think Bläck Fööss did a whole Ostermann cover album.
Oh, really?
The first Höhner single was named It Geht Nix over Ostermann, so nothing beats Ostermann. And so he's like the guy.
He is the guy,
who basically kickstarted the popularity. And he had like a couple of hits that like crossed over, which were in High German. But Heimweh nach Köln is, I mean, it still brings a tear to anyone's eye.
Yeah, it is a beautiful song.
Especially in war times. It was about, so Heimweh nach Köln means homesick for Cologne.
Yeah.
And since he released that shortly before the war, a lot of people like really resonated with it because they had to leave Köln because it got bombed. And I mean, so
I wonder what that, because that's quite a common theme I feel like of carnival music these days in general, is people who leave Köln and miss it. And I see a lot of similarities between that and Irish folk music, for example. But I wonder if that's where that sort of became popular then.
Yeah,
you know, writing songs because you just miss Köln.
Right. Yeah. That's. But Willy Ostermann really struck a nerve, and then this song was released shortly before his death.
Okay.
So I don't think he really, and he died before the war really started.
Yeah, before it really kicked off.
It's still a very important song in the history of Cologne Carnival or of Kölsch music in general. So
well, let's hear a little bit of it.
Yeah. I think
the solo is beautiful, by the way.
The arrangements, like I mean, you can definitely tell that there was more money in music.
Yeah,
Like, you had these big orchestras.
That was my first thought when I heard the song. Was like, I wonder how much it cost them to book that orchestra, man. Because that's a proper good orchestra in there.
But Willy Ostermann was, I mean, he was a local legend while he was alive, and I think more so.
I mean, he's got that kind of voice. Well, I think that's one thing we will talk about is as carnival music develops, it sort of runs hand in hand or parallel with what's happening in the music world in general, which I find very interesting. The styles change up quite a lot.
Yep.
You can see similarities between this and like the old chanson française. You're talking like Edith Piaf and all that kind of style, the old crooners as well. It's got that kind of vibe to it. Beautiful singing, beautiful orchestration as well.
Yeah.
I would say, I think for classical music fans, Heimweh nach Köln or Willy Ostermann in general, you would enjoy that kind of stuff because it's really delicate orchestration, very romantic,
it is,
very rich. It's beautiful.
But it's definitely in the tradition of the music of the 20s and 30s. Like you hear some Marlene Dietrich in there, and some all that stuff.
Yeah. So Willy Ostermann, he leaves us in the 30s.
Yeah,
and
then there's a long period of time where I mean there were people around like during the war and also in the years immediately following the war. I think we need to talk about Willy Milovic. We need to talk about,
of course,
we need to talk about Karl Beur. We need to talk about Trude Herr.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as important to the evolution of what came afterwards because they were very much like the style of Willy Ostermann was very much in there. Like they had hits. Some of them were historically because, for example, like I think it was Karl Beur who did Die Eingeborenen von Trizonesien.
Okay.
The inhabitants of Trisonesia. So Cologne was divided into 3 zones, or Germany was divided into 4 zones, like the British, the French, the American, and the Russian.
Yes.
And then Cologne was right smack dab in the middle of the 3.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, of the 3 Western ones. So, and then Karl Beur kind of wrote this song, Die Eingeborenen from Trisonesia. So, and that kind of resonated with the people and gave them like their identity. Back. Because after
which is a huge thing as well I want to talk about with carnival music, because I feel like, for obvious reasons, I'm assuming as well, post-war, German identity and German nationalism obviously died down a little bit.
So.
And hasn't really came back.
Yeah.
But Köln's identity is so strong.
And I think that's another thing. Like after the war, like France, Great Britain, even Ireland or America were very quick to develop a new pop cultural identity.
Very fast.
It took until like this late 60s or 70s to develop one for Germany with like Schlager and Krautrock, which was kind of like the German thing. And that kind of also went for Carnival, because a lot of the stuff that came before the next act we're going to talk about, the Bläck Fööss, was just carbon copies of what Willy Ostermann used to do musically. Maybe they had a little bit more swing in there, like Trude Herr had like this swing beat under her songs. Willy Milovic was a very much traditionalist guy.
Yes,
but
that would be the one I know.
Yeah, but I mean, this is like the period of time where it was very difficult for German musicians to forge their like own identity for obvious and rightfully
and also
so.
for economic purposes as well. Cologne got bombed to shit, and it took a long time for it to recover economically.
Yeah, and people had other stuff to do than form like
bands
than
to write music.
And but in 1970 that kind of all changed. So I think the Bläck Fööss are a band that we need to talk a lot about. Like, we have the next 4 songs on our playlist are Bläck Fööss songs.
Yeah.
And I think the Bläck Fööss are the most important and the best carnival band.
The best is quite a statement now, Marcus, but the most important I will agree with.
But I think they're the best because
hugely influential.
I think they are hugely influential.
Yeah.
So let me take it back. So there was a couple of guys, 6 guys, who were like in beat bands in the 60s.
Okay.
Like in the 60s, there was a vibrant scene in Cologne which like didn't want anything to do with like the past or the Nazis, and they wanted to rebel, and so they formed a lot of beat bands.
Yes.
There were like in the UK there would have been mods, but I think the German word for them was just beat guys, or sometimes they call themselves X's or whatever. But I think in the 60s there was a scene in Cologne developing with the bands all singing in this. They called it Blendax English, because they kind of didn't really speak English, but they imitated the sounds they heard from the records that they loved.
Gotcha.
The Bläck Fööss evolved from that, because there was a beat band called the Stowaways, which were the band that accompanied Graham Bonney, the British Schlager singer, who I think his career in the UK had kind of fizzled out. So he came to Germany and sang like Schlager songs. And then he hired the Stowaways as his backing band. And then he told them, guys, I think you're really good musicians, but I think you can't do like English lyrics. Like that's not possible. So you have to. Why don't you do Kölsch drinking songs? And 5-6 of the Fööss were like, yeah, well, why not? Well, we'll give it a shot. And Tommy Engel was like, no. Like Tommy Engel was deemed to be the front man.
Yeah, I'd say.
He was the best singer in the band, but he actually hated Karneval. His dad was in the group. Yeah, his dad was in the group Die Vier Botze, which was a very popular Karneval band. And his godfather, his Patenonkel, was the leader of the was leader of the Prinzengarde, which is the one of the KGs, which is very traditional, and they follow the prince everywhere. And they
So you can see the need to rebel a little bit against that. I understand it to an extent.
So the members of the Bläck Fööss wanted to do beat music. They wanted to do English music. They wanted to do pop music. They wanted to be pop stars. And then Graham Bonney said to them, do Kölsch drinking songs. I'll finance a recording for you.
Oh, really? Okay.
They did play carnival balls before they actually went and did Kölsch music. And they knew how to play Kölsch records. And so they wrote, or I think that someone wrote a song for them, Riefkocherwalzer, which they then put on a 7-inch and flopped in 1970. So,
I've never heard that song.
And they released that under the...
Riefkocher
Reibekuchen, it's a food.
It's fucking delicious, well, to be fair. It is fucking delicious.
And it's vegan, actually.
True, because it's just deep fried potatoes, isn't it? It's class. They are delicious.
I think sometimes they're not vegan because they contain eggs, so you have to be like careful.
Yeah. Also, it's one of those fun examples where Reibekuchen would be the German word and Riefkuchen is the Kölsch word.
So they released that and it flopped. And then their next single was
shouldn't have. Sounds great.
Yeah. Their next single is Mir drinke aus einer Flasch. And that contained a B-side, which was Drink doch eine mit.
Drink doch eine mit was a B-side.
Drink doch eine mit was a B-side.
Like
that wasn't even the A-side. I mean, think of like
one of the most iconic songs.
This is one of
ever.
I think it's
from Cologne.
I think it's got a. You could make the case for it being the best Kölsch song ever.
You could definitely make a case for it, yeah.
But
I mean, it's still played every carnival every day.
Yes,
it's so it's so central to the repertoire here.
And
it was a B-side.
Of their second single. Like,
that's wild.
And remember, like the modus operandi at that time was there's one guy standing in front of the Sitzungskapelle, and we are singing like traditional music, but the Bläck Fööss were a beat band, and you can hear it in Drink doch eine mit, like it's very Beatlesque.
Oh like, let's play a bit of this. I mean, we'll talk about the Beatle thing in a minute.
And I think also the message, like, it's a song about solidarity. It's a song about coming together despite your economic or whatever differences you may have.
Exactly.
And just enjoying life and drinking, right?
Again, which sort of... It's one of those things, we'll talk about this later maybe, but it's one of those things, what came first was Cologne, did it have the sense of community and almost left-wing values, and then carnival music came out of that? Or did carnival music inspire people to be a bit more into their community and... accepting of immigration and all those kind of things are so important.
So definitely Bläck Fööss are a very, very left-wing band.
Yeah.
They are from the working class. Most of them are. And they are very much like socially conscious.
Yeah.
And I think that Drink doch eine mit and also songs like the ones that we're going to hear later are definitely... like they have an influence on the Kölsch mentality. Like if you're standing in a bar and saying "Drink doch eine mit" to everyone, like
how could you go and vote for the AfD after listening to that?
You can't. You fucking can't. It's impossible. Like because I think the mentality really got shaped by what happened like after the war. Like we didn't go and say, oh, like we're German, we're still German.
No.
But they went and said, okay, everybody come here.
Yeah.
Like everybody, and that's even from the first song written for Carnival, Herbei, Herbei,
Yeah.
Leute, means come. Like we invite you. And I think that's something that still defines the
Oh, hugely so.
Yeah.
Also, do you know what I do like about Carnival? If anyone ever visits Cologne in general, Kölsch people love to show off how Kölsch they are. They fucking love it, man. They roll out the red carpet for you. When you go anywhere, they will buy you drinks. They will tell you the history of it.
Yeah.
They're great for that. If you show a little bit of interest in Kölsch history and Cologne history and the whole culture here, they love it, man. They
will
love
also
bringing foreigners in here.
They will
love
also,
tourists.
like I do now, they will also laber you a cotlet an die Backe, which is
Sorry, I beg your pardon?
they talk a cutlet on your cheek. So
You used to have a word for that as well. We
yeah.
have that in Irish too.
yeah.
I do find a lot of similarities between the Kölsch and the Irish as well, which is a great thing for me. But yeah, that idea of bringing people in and being open to people, it's such a key thing in this city.
Yeah, it is.
And you
definitely.
again, when you hear these songs, like even the next song we're going to listen to as well, man, it's
Yeah.
so... I don't know much about the political opinions of Bläck Fööss, but to me it does sound incredibly left-wing.
It
the idea and the...
It is, absolutely. And I think one thing that needs to be said is that the Bläck Fööss were trailblazers not only in that political sense, but also in the sense of that they musically broke the ground. Like I think a lot of conservative people in the KGs and in the Festkomitee were very upset that there were like these long-haired hippies.
It's so wild to me to think that there's going to be KGs out there who were unhappy with Bläck Fööss, because nowadays they worship them.
Yeah, of course. But back in the day, they were controversial, to say the least. So the next song is from the same LP, actually, and it was also a B-side. Can you imagine?
Man, seriously?
Yeah, the A-side
The
was...
A-sides were shit then.
The A-side was Meloster Dom in Kölle, which is
also incredibly famous. Actually, the picture's up in there in the background.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the picture. And Meloster Dom in Kölle is actually very political.
Okay.
So something that you don't notice on first listen is that this song is a protest song against gentrification.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Meloster Dom in Kölle means there's this expression in German, wir lassen die Kirche im Dorf, we leave the church in the village, which means like don't overdo it. And Meloster Dom in Kölle means we are not changing the city because we have to leave the character intact, and the whole sanitation thing is just there to make people richer. And yeah, it's very political, and it sort of became a carnival hit. Despite that, because either people didn't catch on to it.
Did people not know?
Yeah.
Is that what it is, you think?
I think
they sort of slips away with it.
Case, yeah. I think that's when kind of this whole like urban politics thing got into carnival music. Like if you listen to Willy Ostermann, of course there are like funny stories, like Dem Schmitzing Frau ist durchgebrannt is about a woman of some guy running off.
Yeah.
And so it's not very meaningful or political. But Bläck Fööss really introduced that. And the next song in unserem Fädel is it's definitely very, very political, because it's about like your community, your locals, your Fädel, your part of town. Yeah,
what is the word for Fädel? Like your district. It's not really district, is it? It's more like the feeling of your direct area, your community.
Yeah. It's your like your block, your streets, and the surrounding areas.
Yeah, because a Fädel doesn't necessarily have to be like, does it? Like I know I would say a Kalk is my Fädel. But can it be smaller than that as well?
Kalk has a lot of sub-Fädels.
Yeah, that's what I would say as well.
I mean, Fädels are not like cartographically like drawn out.
Okay.
There's a Fädelkarte on the homepage of the Stadt Köln. You can Google that, but so you can get an idea of where which Fädel is. But where does the Südstadt start and end? Nobody really knows. But
nobody knows. Nobody really fucking cares.
Your Fädel is basically your neighborhood, your like local, the people you go to a local pub with. These are the people from your Fädel.
Exactly, and it's the idea of community and the people, and again the pubs. I'm going to play a little bit actually. Again, another Carnival classic.
Yeah, Stone Cold classic, and it also sounds very Beatlesque.
Man, we will get to that actually in a second.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to See, to me, that sounds so similar to Yesterday.
Yeah.
Like the start of the Beatles number.
I think you really listen, you really hear that Tommy Engel was the biggest Beatles fan.
Man, okay, we have to talk about this. First of all, the music
Yeah.
does sound very Beatles-esque. There's a lot of
Yeah.
piano. There's a lot of like absurdity in some of the lyrics as well.
Yeah,
and there's
yeah,
but also the famous album cover. The Bläck Fööss had the album cover, didn't it? It was the same as Sgt. Pepper's.
Yeah, they do.
They copied it, yeah.
That was their 20th anniversary, like when they re-recorded all of their old songs.
Ah, okay.
So-
and they had it with like, was it people from Cologne?
From Cologne,
Yeah. Because funny thing, my ex-girlfriend once came around to my flat years ago, and I had an LP of Sgt. Pepper's. I was like, oh, that looks like the Bläck Fööss album. I was like, are you fucking Cologne people, I swear to God,
Yeah.
that looks like the Bläck Fööss album. And I think the Beatles came first.
Next one is that this album that you're talking about was produced by Klaus Voormann, who also is a Beatles friend. Like,
Okay.
he did the cover for Revolver. So and he also produced the Bläck Fööss album. So so the Bläck
Wow,
Fööss were
okay.
massively like indebted to the Beatles musically.
I can hear such a link between the two, man. It's ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
that album you sent me today as well. Fuck me, that genuinely sounds like a Beatles album.
That album we're talking about is Linksrum Rechtsrum, which is,
Yes.
in my opinion, the best ever album ob Kölsch.
That's
It's
it's a
like-
big call, but I
but
did listen to it
every
today.
song on there is a classic. Every song on there is a banger. Every song on there is like perfect. It's just.
Although
it's-
none of the major Bläck Fööss solos I mean were on that album. Like
True.
none of the main singles.
Most of the main early singles are on the first LP, or Bläck Fööss and Kölle, but I think the musical quality
Yeah.
of Linksrum Rechtsrum is incredible. And also,
It is class.
back in the 70s, starting in 1974,
Yeah.
the Bläck Fööss released an album every year.
Like-
They did a whole LP every year.
Isn't that insane?
And all of them were fucking awesome. Like, all of them were brilliant. And
And an LP every year. Also,
Yeah.
bearing in mind they're going to have to obviously write the LP, record the LP, release the LP. But in between that, they're going to be gigging a lot.
Yeah.
Because you're in Cologne and you've got carnival season, you've got all
Carnival.
kinds
Yeah,
of things.
right.
You need to be gigging, you need to be
Yeah.
out.
And,
It must have
and the
never
thing is,
fucking
like,
stopped.
people are only ever thinking like, you listen to the Bläck Fööss on Carnival. No, you don't. You
Yeah,
listen
they're-
to if you're from here and if you're a proper Kölsch, like
Yeah.
you listen to the Bläck Fööss all year long, and you go to like when they play in the summer at Tanzbrunn or something. You go and
Yeah.
you listen to them. And
Did they get big outside of Cologne as well?
so we're gonna talk about that, because they got bought off from they were on a small label for their first two LPs,
Okay.
and they couldn't live from it. So they still worked at. I think Tommy Engel worked for an electricity company, and he went to people's houses, and they were like, "Aren't you the guy from Bläck Fööss?
Man.
What are you doing here, changing my electricity? Like,
fucking wild.
what are you doing?" And starting from their third album, which was called Bei uns daheim, it came out in '76.
Yeah.
They got picked up by EMI, which was a major label.
Yeah.
And they were also based here in Cologne, and they had a major deal, and so they could quit their day jobs and
start
still
making records, yeah.
still make records. And that's when they, I don't know if Bei uns daheim was also engineered by him, but Linksrum Rechtsrum was engineered by Conny Plank, who was the guy behind Kraftwerk,
Oh,
the producer
wow.
behind Kraftwerk and Can. The Bläck Fööss and Can actually had a pretty good connection. Like, Tommy
Okay.
Engel used to hang around with Holger Czukay a lot. So, yeah, the Cologne music scene is quite small.
Yeah,
and
but you can believe that, man. This city, man.
it's insane, because Can is regarded as like they influenced Radiohead. They're this big
Yeah.
avant-garde like band,
Yeah.
and the Bläck Fööss are like, hey, Carnival. But it's very tightly knit. And Conny Plank was actually a big Bläck Fööss fan. And
Okay.
this is why these records sound the way they do. Like,
Yeah.
they sound very expensive. They sound very pop.
Yeah.
And then when they got to EMI, they could say to EMI, okay, because at the first label, they said, okay, we're going into the studio. The playbacks are already done by some session musicians. We obviously have sent them how it should sound,
Yeah.
but we are not playing on our own records. We're just singing.
Okay.
Because we only have a couple of hours to make an album.
Yeah, so when you get this done quick, yeah.
Yeah, and when they got picked up by EMI,
oh, yeah.
starting from the third album, Bei uns daheim, they started experimenting more in the studio. They started playing their own instruments on the recordings. So they became like a proper band.
Yeah.
This is also when they convinced the KGs to not have the Sitzungskapelle play for them. So they brought like drums and electric basses and electric guitars. Because before that, it was just the three main guys. Peter, Tommy, and Eri
Yeah.
singing harmonies in the front, maybe with a guitar, but the Sitzungskapelle would play behind them. And
Which is
this
so weird to think as well, because obviously nowadays to have a band that is its own is a totally normal thing.
Yeah, and a drum set and stuff like that.
Of course,
so,
yeah.
Bei uns daheim was kind of the moment when that all changed. And then the album after that, Linksrum Rechtsrum, which is the best one, that went gold in Germany and top 10. So they
did get big outside of Cologne then, they really did.
I don't know if they did get big outside of Cologne. I know that they toured Germany. So
you think just they sold so many records in Cologne that it broke into the top 10 in Germany?
So it's interesting because Linksrum Rechtsrum sold 250,000 copies in order to go gold. So and if you think about it, Cologne has 1 million inhabitants.
That's one in every 4 people bought that record.
Yeah. I mean, they were massive in Cologne. Like, people were obsessed with Bläck Fööss.
Yeah, I know.
You can't imagine how much of an impact they made on this city, like on the mentality of people, on how people thought about their own city, because they didn't only talk about their fiddle or like drinking, and they didn't only talk about Carnival, but like we hear in the next one is called Mikado, which is a disco tune.
I know, man, this is a great tune.
Yeah, it's a disco tune made in '76, which was actually kind of early. It was before like Saturday Night Fever and stuff. So they really were ahead of the curve there.
Yeah.
So and it's about a guy beating up his rival, like a kid beating up his rival in the street with moves he learned from a kung fu TV show.
Man, that's great.
It's really something. Yeah.
Quick question: can you actually play it on your laptop? This one, for some reason, it's not downloaded offline in my playlist. Mikado and Hammond Bar didn't download.
Oh yeah,
go for it.
There you go.
Man, I did. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it didn't age super well with the whole like.
Come on, this is funky as shit.
Yes, it is. It shows you just how tight this band was. Like, yeah. I mean,
that is funky as shit. That rocks.
It is, and it shows you how much diversity this band like really had.
Even sometimes within the same record, not even record to record, like within the same record.
Bei uns daheim also has like a rock and roll tune, and it has,
I know.
It has a lot of like it has like Ming Eenste Freundin, which was my grandpa's favorite song.
Okay.
It's got so many like. It shows you how much variety was really in this band.
Yeah.
Like this part of that is
obscenely talented musicians too to be able to do that.
I think the first 2 albums were like fine. They had a couple Carnival hits, stuff like that. From this point onwards, they were like unstoppable, a force for good.
Yeah.
Like nobody could tell them down. Like nothing fucked with the Bläck Fööss in the 70s and early 80s. And I think, that's kind of what happened. And then the next record that came after Linksrum Rechtsrum was Mehr Hannendeckel, which some consider to be even better than Linksrum Rechtsrum. I would say it has a couple of songs that didn't really age so well. Okay. But it does have Ich Hannendeckel, which is my personal favorite Bläck Fööss song. And I know that a lot of people really like it because it's like very singer-songwriter, folksy kind of type deal.
And obviously very sentimental as well.
It's very sentimental. It's about a guy moving to Berlin and leaving behind the Deckel,
which is a beer mat.
A beer mat in his favorite pub, which has €10.80 on it. So,
we should say it's because of that tradition in Cologne as well, where we write down the bill on a beer mat.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and that song is about that, and it's like really. It doesn't really have anything to do with celebrating the city, but it's about missing the city, and it's about like
it's melancholy, man. That could be an Irish song. That could be an Irish folk song all day. Yeah. Do you know actually when I did my Carnival episode last year, Emily who came on, that was her favorite song as well. I'd never heard of it until she mentioned it. I suppose it's not one you're going to hear at Carnival, because if you play that song, everyone's going to go home because it's too sad, man.
I've seen indie parties end with this song.
Like, I end up with it's okay, because that's like get the lights on and fuck off.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But if you played that in the middle of the night, man, you've ruined my night. I'm crying. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Super emotional.
Can you play that one as well?
It's
the only two that didn't work for me, and then I'm good after that. Yeah, man. Even the choice of instruments makes it very sentimental.
It's harmonica, and I think that's something that Tommy Engel was also very big on, was country music. And yeah.
But again, it's good to play these just to hear the variety of styles that they put into one fucking record.
And I think like Bläck Fööss have a lot of that a lot of those songs. Like
Yeah.
they work in specific contexts, but they also just work if you're at home listening to the record. By the way, all those records that we are talking about, they are available on vinyl, and they're cheap as fuck.
They are, because everyone bought them here.
Don't pay more than €5 for a Bläck Fööss album. Go to your local bargain bin at a record store and then buy those things on vinyl and take the time to listen to them at home.
Oh, yeah, because they were records made for that.
Yeah.
And also, I have to say, for people who aren't in Cologne or have nothing to do with Cologne, like maybe the Americans or the Irish people out there, you can genuinely listen to these records without understanding a fucking word. You can still enjoy them for what they are. You can feel, like, they're so clear in the way they express their emotions through the instrumentation and the singing that you can enjoy them anyway. I really would recommend just going and giving that a lash. Like, when I discovered carnival music, I hadn't got a fucking clue what they were talking about. Even now, I'm getting like 50% of it. Yeah. But you can still enjoy it. So Bläck Fööss is a great place to start, I think.
Bläck Fööss is the best place to start, I would say, because they like pioneered this whole movement in the 70s that like there were rock bands playing carnival music. I wouldn't say carnival music because a lot of this stuff that you will find on these early LPs wouldn't really work for carnival. I don't think Ich an den Deckel or Mikado. Mikado gets played like in places like here, like
where they know their stuff.
Mikado plays in a lot of places, but Ich an den Deckel sometimes does. But and especially in a lot of the quieter moments, because carnival, I think a lot of people don't realize that carnival is more than just getting drunk and partying, because it's also a lot of it is sentimental.
It's very
a lot of carnival songs, we're going to talk about that later. A lot of carnival songs include like Memento Mori, like it's surprisingly often it's about death, and it's very melancholy.
More
there's so much depth to this. To this celebration, and it's not about like good laune, hey, but it's also very sentimental. It's melancholic. Andy, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I want to say.
Go.
Translate the Cologne slang on the LPs.
Oh yeah, you see the
German word.
They have if they have the lyrics printed on the covers.
Deutsch and then in Kölsch.
In Deutsch and Kölsch, yeah.
Cool.
In the middle of the 70s, the carnival events have no music more. Only the old ones.
Yeah.
And then they start their music.
Yeah.
And they say in the Cologne events, hey, that's a new band for us.
Right.
We want to hear them. And then they start.
Right. Yeah. They
LPs have nothing to do with carnival. Nothing.
Okay.
It's only about Cologne. And the Linksrum is only a record for the south of Cologne where we are now.
Yeah.
Linksrum is a clothing place.
It's So it's very, very local.
That's where it's from. Okay.
Yeah. The whole place is like in a mirror.
It really is. Yeah.
And
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's something to be said about the KGs and the Festkomitee. The Festkomitee, to this day, they have a literary committee.
Okay.
So they kind of get to decide who plays the Sitzung.
Okay.
So there are gatekeepers.
Yeah.
So you don't get in being like, you can go the route like
you're being kids on the block and just rock in
and just walk in and do your thing. But they played the Bläck Fööss, or the Bläck Fööss played with Riefkocherwalzer on the first year, and a lot of people didn't like it, but some people gave them a shot anyway. Yeah. And then when all these songs like Trink doch eine mit in unserem Fädel, all that went super popular, people wanted them. They say, if you don't book the Bläck Fööss, we're not going to your Sitzung. And I think that's very important. Thank you, Andy. Andy is the guy who owns this bar. He sat behind the camera. But in parallel to the Bläck Fööss, there was another band making the rounds, which was much different. Yeah, I think this is the Cologne Beatles and Stones situation. Like there was
that is actually such a good way to say it. So Bläck Fööss are going to be the Beatles then, aren't they?
Yeah. And the Höhner is kind of the Stones, because they are much more like, not in the sense that they're more rock and roll, but they're more oriented towards carnival, because the Höhner really originated in carnival. The Höhner were founded as primarily a carnival band. So
but they were after Bläck Fööss, right? Slightly after.
Yeah, 2 years after them.
Okay.
So not much time between them, but they saw what the Bläck Fööss were doing, and they thought, well, that's cool.
We want a bit of that.
But maybe do it a little bit more carnival friendly.
Yeah.
There's money to be made there. So, and also, I imagine they would like it also. I think they loved what they were doing.
Yeah.
And then their after a couple of years before they released their first album, their singer quit, and they got a new guy named Peter Horn. And Peter Horn was very big on Irish and Scottish folk music, which was where Höhner got a lot of their early influences from. The song that we're going to listen to is Ich bin Räuber, which is a Kölsch version of I'm a Rover.
I know, man. This happens every fucking carnival where they play a song and I look around and go, that's our song, man. What do they do? There's like 5 of them that they do this. Yeah.
And that's Peter Horn's fault. Yeah.
The Irish people will be on, what's going on here?
But you immediately hear like it's you want to do this and sit on a beer bank and and I think that's what Höhner really separated from the Bläck Fööss. Like they were more compatible with
lean into the carnival thing, drinking and and there's nothing wrong with either, you know.
Nothing.
It's good to have both.
But it's good to have both. But it's just like I wouldn't. Let's say I don't own any Höhner records.
Okay.
Yeah. So not physically anyway.
I know what you mean.
I don't have vinyl of them.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, they work and they always worked.
Yeah.
And so there was that development. Like there was a new band on the block being like, okay, Bläck Fööss, we're doing what you're doing, but we're just doing it more like in a carnival direction. We're not necessarily. We don't have this artsy
we're not like to make the greatest record of all time.
We don't have to do a Sgt. Pepper. We just have to do a song that works in this carnival context.
They fucking did it, tell you. They did a few of them.
They did it. And then a couple of years later, in 1979, a former roadie, the roadies from the Bläck Fööss, that's another whole different story. The Bläck Fööss had 2 roadies in their early career. One of them was named, and I beg your pardon, King Size Dick.
Oh, fuck up. Fuck up. No, he wasn't.
He was. His nickname was Dick, and then he
added the king size, did he? I'm sure.
Yeah, and his nickname was Dick because he was large person.
Okay,
and that's
Dick in German. Yeah, of course, yeah.
And he went to England, I think, and then people were like, "You're not Dick," and I mean, and he said, "Yeah, I'm just king size, you know." And since then, he became known as King Size Dick. There was, I mean, there's. He's still alive, but his family has a grave on Melaten which just says Familie King Size Dick.
Oh, fuck off, never don't.
They do.
Man, this city sometimes, I swear to God.
This city. But yeah, he was the first roadie from Die Höhner to have from the Bläck Fööss, who made it big. He started his own singing career because he had this amazing blues singer voice.
Okay.
And he started to go into a direction which was more of a Stimmungssänger, so a lot more carnival stuff. But King Size Dick was a guy who was around. The second roadie from the Bläck Fööss to start a solo career is Zeltinger, Jürgen Zeltinger. Or he's just known as Zeltinger Mononymous, is also a large guy. He has this big mustache and a bald head, and
sounds like a very attractive man.
And he's very much gay. So and he didn't hold that back in the late 70s, which was kind of controversial.
Which was not an easy time to be doing it.
Not an easy time to be doing it, and he was also always wearing like a leather jacket.
Yeah,
and he was always like. In with like a bit of a crowd that was a bit more rough.
Yeah.
And so Zeltinger formed a band. In this band were people like Arno Steffen, who was a member of the krautrock band Triumvirat. He will become important later on. Jackie Liebezeit von Cannes was in his band, so there was a lot of people from the Cologne underground scene in his band, and he sang in Kölsch. You will not hear Zeltinger at Karneval.
Okay.
Zeltinger is completely
this
separated.
is a band that, when I heard this playlist, it's the first time I've heard of these guys.
Yeah.
So there you are. Yeah. They've really escaped.
They were never mainstream. Like, they were never mainstream. They never wanted to be. I think they were just...
rock, but
they do. Just play it, because it's like...
Yeah, I know.
I think it's one of the earliest examples of punk rock in Germany.
Yeah.
Because what we're about to hear is like... Yeah. That energy.
Like, that sounds like the Undertones are like the fucking Ramones or the Sex Pistols.
It is a Ramones song, actually. So it is Rockaway Beach in Kölsch. Yeah.
Like, that's amazing me that there's a cow song like that.
Yeah. And
that was called Mungersdorfer Stadion.
Mungersdorfer Stadion.
Now
It's
known
not-
as the Rhein Energy Stadion.
Yeah, but it's not about the stadium.
No?
It's about the swimming pool next to the stadium, and it's about him being unemployed and driving. Like, how do you say he doesn't have it without a ticket?
Yeah,
There's
on like public transport. you
yeah,
mean?
he's driving.
Yeah.
He's driving. He's like driving illegally,
Yeah,
like without
yeah.
a ticket, and to enjoy the day with potato salad and transistor radio at the swimming pool next to Müngersdorfer Stadion. That's
sounds great.
like the song. And
That
on
is a band I'd never heard of. That I'm quite
yeah,
surprised.
And on that album there are a couple of songs which are like about his homosexuality, and some
Okay.
of them don't age very well because they use like certain slurs and stuff. And
Okay,
there's
I mean, it
lot
was
of-
the 70s though.
yeah,
as
and
well,
there's a lot of talk about like prostitution and like
Okay.
there's a song about him going to the welfare office to collect his money. So it's very
Yeah.
much a song about like the lower
Yeah,
the
and
working
reflective
class
of the
of
time as well,
Yeah.
then.
But what Zeltinger did and what he pioneered is that he did music in Kölsch that was not connected to Carnival.
Carnival at all, yeah.
Yeah, because Carnival wouldn't have him, obviously.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
it's,
yeah.
It's but Müngersdorfer Stadion and Assi mit Niveau, like his two biggest
Yeah.
songs, they still get played
Okay.
in certain pubs, I would say.
Okay.
You won't find it at the parties from Festkomitee. But
Yeah.
Zeltinger is a guy who's around, and he has his core fan base.
Is he still
And-
alive?
Yeah, he is. But
Okay.
I think he's not. He's very sick. I think he has cancer.
Oh, wow,
So
okay.
all the best to him. But he trailblazed a lot of things, among other things like being openly homosexual in the hard rock scene, which was still a very macho place
man,
to
in
be
the
in.
70s, it was not an easy
Yeah.
time to do it.
But Zeltinger then paved the way for another band, which would make it very, very big in Germany. I think they're one of Germany's most successful rock bands.
Oh, big time.
BAP.
Yeah.
BAP is the project of Wolfgang Niedecken, who is a singer-songwriter here from the Südstadt. And these guys, I mean, they made it very, very big. And
Oh, yeah.
the thing is that BAP hated Carnival with a passion. Especially, like, Wolfgang Niedecken would leave town.
Theme here?
Yeah, they would leave town when Carnival was happening, and he would
Oh,
hate
that's
it
nice,
when
class.
people like Verdammt lang her is a song that's like 6 minutes long almost, and they have this amazing chant in there, like in the end, Verdammt lang her,
Yeah,
verdammt,
yeah.
which would drive people nuts. Like people went nuts over this, but this only comes on like at the very end of the song,
I'll play it
and
there.
yeah.
It does rock as well.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, but also the way the song builds, and it's a very emotional song.
I feel like I hear that at football matches a lot. Or I don't know where,
Yeah.
but you'd hear that in like when I've done like the party train and stuff like that with football teams. You hear that a lot.
And you hear it played at carnival events, which
Yeah.
is something that Wolfgang Niedecken does not like. I mean, but this album, Für uns zu Schnee, it sold like hotcakes. It went all over Germany.
No, am I right in saying when I see the name BAP, were they part of the Arsch Huh movement?
They were,
Yeah?
We're going to get to that
Yeah.
later because they.
Very political band. Then.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
political, and the next song we're going to hear from them is actually super political.
Oh yeah, well man, I'd never heard this song. I saw the name and I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a difficult topic. So Bap wrote a song on the album that was following up Für uns zu Schnee. So they broke into the mainstream
Yeah.
with Für uns zu Schnee, and then their next album was like very highly anticipated, and they took 2 years to make it, which
Wow,
is
okay.
at that time it was a long time between
Yeah.
albums, especially for bands in that scene. And they decided to open the album with a song called Kristallnacht, which is, if you don't know, on the night of the 9th of November 1938, Nazis took to the streets of Germany to basically smash the windows of Jewish shops, and they burned a lot of the places down, and a lot of Jewish people like lost their lives and lost their livelihood.
so we refer to actually as Kristallnacht in English as well.
Okay, good. So then you'll understand how big of a topic this is. And Kristallnacht does not talk about this night in particular, but it talks about how this will happen again if we are not careful.
Yeah.
Like this will, if we don't watch out, there's always one seducing you, telling you it's the gay's fault, it's the foreigner's
look
fault.
over there, yeah.
Yeah, and and that kind of was the first song you hear on that album.
Yeah.
There's also an anti-Karneval song on that album.
Oh, really?
I think Von drinnen noch Russe is the best BAP album. It starts with this eerie synthesizer. It's so amazing. Kristallnacht is an amazing song. I love it. Not just for its message, but just also because musically it's so eerie. Like
to open your album of 2 years wait with this, that's a brave choice.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and also the way that Wolfgang Niedecken writes, it's very Bob Dylan, it's very Bruce Springsteen, it's very like associative. He doesn't explicitly say what his songs are about, but he just lets the words speak for themselves. Andy says about the guitarist Klaus Majorhäuser. He was also one of the best guitarists in the game in Germany back then. People really... He's a Leverkusen
fan as well? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I actually heard a rumor once, maybe you guys can tell me this finally. Henning Kreutmacher.
Yeah.
Leverkusen fan originally, I heard?
Yes.
Apparently he used to sing in the stadium.
He wrote a song about Mir sind die Fans aus dem Bayerstadion. With this band he was in before Höhner.
Oh, but I see. He forgets that now, doesn't he?
Yeah. So Henning Krautmacher, we should say, is the singer that replaced Peter Horn at Höhner. And we'll talk about him later, but because Wolfgang Niedecken from BAP, he impressed Tommy Engel from Bläck Fööss so much that Tommy Engel at that time had the feeling that BAP were overtaking them on the left side, and Höhner were overtaking them on the right side. So that's what he writes in his autobiography, which is a good read. And so he thought about how can we stay relevant with the Bläck Fööss. And of course, it being the 80s, the Bläck Fööss thought, let's rap.
Man,
so the Bläck Fööss actually...
I couldn't believe this. Again, sorry, but when I was listening to this playlist this morning, I just let it run because I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll know half the stuff in it. But this came on, I was like, what? And I looked, I was like, Bläck Fööss. Man, what did these guys not do?
They did a lot. They certainly did a lot. You have to imagine that I think this was 1984. Yeah. And there was not a lot of rap in German. Like Falco, maybe, but he was like Austrian.
He's Austrian,
and then Thomas Gottschalk did like a novelty rap song in 1980, very early on. But the Bläck Fööss were actually the first people in Cologne to rap. And record it. I mean, there might have been people rapping in Cologne in the streets, but
also again, I have to point out this is the same band that you've heard like 4 times already.
Yeah.
They're good at it.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah. Tommy Engel is actually a really good rapper. I have to,
Man, it does feel very Falco.
It does.
It feels very Falco.
Yeah, it does. It does sound very like an 80s hip hop song played by a real band.
Yeah,
and there's like horn stabs in the chorus.
But it was only one song that it is a rap song, and then they just I just fucking complete it and move on.
Yeah, and
that's fucking class.
I think the Bläck Fööss also they did a lot more with synthesizers in the 80s. I mean, obviously everyone was
getting a synth out then.
But the Bläck Fööss, obviously they experimented even more, and also they got political as well, like explicitly political. They had in the 80s they had songs like Edelweiss-Pirate or Morje Morje, which were explicitly about the Edelweiss-Pirate was a resistance group in the Second World War against the Nazis, which were from Cologne. And a lot of them were murdered by the Nazis, like executed or in the streets.
Wow.
And when Bläck Fööss played Edelweiss-Piraten, the song on Carnival occasions, people from the KGs would come and say, "You're not singing the truth." So and they would just they would very much. It was very controversial back then, which is weird because a lot of the people who were in this in the KGs and on the Sitzungs, people were people from back then.
Yeah, they remember what happened. Yeah,
and Bläck Fööss kind of brought this topic to the public consciousness. The guy who wrote the lyrics to these songs, by the way, is Rolly Brings. And Rolly Brings is the father of 2 guys who would form their own band at the beginning of the 90s.
Yeah,
and I think that's a very important.
Looking forward to this bit.
I mean, there's an important distinction to make. Like BAP didn't go to Carnival. Zeltinger didn't go to Carnival. There was another band called The Piano Has Been Drinking, which was a Tom Waits cover band in Köln.
Class.
And they kind of had a scene where it was like Kölsch rock. So not Carnival, but just music in Kölsch, which was like rock. And Brings were a hair metal band originally. Like they were very Guns N' Roses, very Bon Jovi, very like Motley Crue. And they released an album in 1991 called Zwei Tote Menschen, Two Kinds of People, which had, again, like Zeltinger, very, very explicit lyrics. This one we're going to listen to is called Wieseling. It's very explicitly about cocaine. Like,
class.
And Brings were one of these bands that wouldn't have anything to do with Carnival. Like
they were okay?
No, they were just one of the... But they were hotshots at the time. They were also picked up by EMI.
They are very good. You can keep talking as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's very, very much about cocaine, this song. And again, hard riffs. Yeah.
Which, I obviously, we'll get to them later, but I'm very familiar with Brings.
Yeah.
But for more of their recent stuff, to know that they've changed so much over time as
they
well
did,
is insane.
They did. And the 90s stuff of Brings is like very rock and roll, very serious stuff.
Yeah.
Like stories like Zeltinger did back then. But like more melodic sensibility, like more like hit songs. I think Ich schenk dir mein Herz is a banger there, and Katharina is a tearjerker there. It's a good album, Zwei Tote Menschen. And Kasalla, the second one, is also very good. So Tommy Engel saw all that developing, and he was kind of jealous. Like he felt like trapped in like this Bläck Fööss universe. He had to do Carnival. He didn't want to do it. The other guys in the Bläck Fööss wanted to do Carnival because, paycheck, and also they liked it. But Tommy Engel was kind of in the season of 1990, he stopped doing the Carnival gigs with the Bläck Fööss. He just did the normal concerts. Bläck Fööss concerts also started to become a little bit more elaborate. Like they did comedy bits in between. They had guests on. They had like a residency at the Milovic Theater, which was very, very elaborate. Höhner would kind of copy that later. But I think, Bläck Fööss at that time was kind of, for Tommy Engel, it was not the main thing. I mean, he prioritized it, he says, but he wanted to do something else. So he took Arno Steffen from the Zeltinger Band, and he took another guy called Rolf Lemmers. He's a keyboarder or a pianist, and he recorded an album with them under the name of LSE, which stands for their last name's initials.
That's what it is.
That's what
I was wondering all day what that was.
And
again, not a band I'd heard of.
Yeah, and that's
them.
the side project at that time from Tommy Engel from the Bläck Fööss. And it's very much more serious than Bläck Fööss. It's not. So they also have a lot of goofy tracks which are humorous on the album. But Für het Herz und je in der Kopf, which means for the heart and against the head, is a very, very serious, emotional song.
Gorgeous song,
and it's
as well.
Gorgeously recorded as well. Like it's got this this country bluesy vibe to it.
Yeah,
and it's very cool. Yeah.
It's so insane that all this was coming out of one fucking city.
Yeah. True. And it's like lyrically, it's like about love, but not very explicitly, and it's very artsy. It's very artful. Yeah.
There was a band I was thinking earlier that sounded just like it. I can't remember who I thought it was. Like there's an English band that I thought that sounds just like that, but I can't remember who it was now.
Yeah.
It'll come back to me.
Yeah.
But I also saw these guys. Are they still like quite political? I think I saw they did something in Cologne in 2012. Are they part of the Pride Parade or something like that?
No, they played the anniversary concert of Arsch Huh. This is what I was going to say.
We're going to go on to them then.
Shortly after LSE released their first album, they did two more. But shortly after that, there was a protest concert here at Klotwigplatz, right around the corner, where 100,000 people
100,000 people.
100,000 people
Incredible
gathered.
lads.
And all the bands we have talked about before,
Yeah.
like all of those bands, except of course Willy Ostermann and the guy from
Yeah.
1820,
Yeah.
because they were dead. But they played a song. They played a concert against right-wing politics and against
Yeah.
Nazis.
What year was this?
1992.
Fuck, see?
Yeah. And that was a historical event for
Yeah.
Cologne, because everybody came together. It didn't matter that Tommy Engel had his beef with the Bläck Fööss. It
Yeah.
didn't matter that Brings and Bap wouldn't have anything to do with
Yeah.
Carnival. Höhner sang together with Wolfgang Niedecken on that
Yeah.
occasion. Like, that's insane to me. Like, that's just so many people came together, and 100,000 people visited this concert, which is, I think, still, they wrote a song for it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And just, this kind of thing, like, kind of defines the heart of what this city can do and what it is. Yeah. I think that's
And
amazing.
because they did. I saw, was it 2 years ago, one of the protests? I saw Querbeat and Brings playing with their Kein Cause for Nazis thing as well. And there was a lot of things talked about the Arsch Huh movement. But it just shows you, like, Cologne has always been that left-wing city. It's always been the cool city.
Right.
And, like, that kind of old school, socialism of looking after each other and workers' rights and just fucking get stuck. It's very working class still here to be left-wing, which is,
yeah.
I love that about the city. I couldn't imagine myself living anywhere else in Germany because of that.
Yeah.
So, but this movement started in 1992. Did it keep going under that title, or
It did, yeah. And I mean, when AFD started happening around, like, and also the NSU murders on Kolbstrasse,
Of
when
course,
that
yeah,
happened,
yeah.
they kind of did a thing there.
which game was only a few years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they still like mobilize against
Yeah.
the right, and a lot of the Cologne musicians are still part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Like even the protests you see here against the right wing, it's massive. The protests they do here and the marches and stuff.
And I think that's really like really unique. Like you have these people who are very much part of the establishment, very much part of like the cultural DNA of the city, being explicitly against Nazis and being explicitly anti-right wing.
Yeah.
That's something that's very unique. Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Um,
So what's up next? I'm
up
seeing
next
more
is
Höhner next.
It's another Höhner song. So the Höhner in the 80s got a new frontman in 1986. Henning Krautmacher, the guy with the most iconic
mustache.
stash in the business.
Yeah.
And they had a hit with Die Karawane zieht weiter, der Sultan het durch.
So was that their first hit with Henning?
That was Henning did Pizza Wunderbar and a lot of other songs in the 80s and 90s. But Die Karawane zieht weiter was a song that charted and a song that went gold.
Okay.
So they it kind of showed Höhner as like, okay, move over Bläck Fööss. Bläck Fööss just lost Tommy Engel in 1994.
Yeah.
They had to find their path again. Like they took a couple of years to figure out what they were gonna be, and so it didn't age super well. Let me just say that. It's got a lot of these Orientalisms, which but it was a super massive hit, and there was no getting around it. People were doing Polonaise to it at the carnival places. It was.
Man, it's class though. Like it's so good.
Yeah, and people all over Germany heard it to do the Polonaise because it was a popular dance all over Germany at the time. And still
that's
is.
where the Höhner came from then, that we all know and love then. I mean, for me, that's the Höhner I imagine. When we talk about Höhner, I'm thinking of Henning Krautmacher.
Yeah, of course,
It has come
he's
straight
the
in
most iconic frontman. I think when people think about a German Cologne singer,
it's gotta be Henning, hasn't it?
Yeah, his image just comes to mind. Yeah.
So where we are on the playlist now, we're down to the last couple of songs. We do have to go quite quickly now, but the best thing is now we're into the bit that I know. Now we're into the part all the songs from here on in. These are obviously much more modern. And
they're the modern classics, by the way.
Link them up to where we came before, because I had no idea about this history of Carnival.
Brings fell on hard times during the late 90s.
Yeah.
They had flop after flop, and then Höhner heard this song that we're about to hear, Super Jalitzig, from the album of the same name, and they said, if you went to Carnival with this one, you would earn a lot of money. And then Brings were like, how much? And then finally they went to they went, and Höhner brought them to the Sitzung.
Okay.
And a lot of the establishment weren't happy with it. Like it was a Bläck Fööss situation all over again.
I'd say there's a running theme here with the establishment.
Yeah.
They really don't know how to pick their music.
There was one guy from the fest committee who would leave the room as soon as they started playing. And I mean, Super Jalitzig is a controversial song because it has drug references.
God forbid.
Yeah, and but it really revolutionized Carnival because everything that you're going to hear that comes after it is in some way influenced by Prince.
You think so? Yes. This is like the turning point where we get the modern Carnival.
Yeah. That's like the super like they replaced the end of the Bläck Fööss era. And they started like this song and the next one we're going to talk about. Yeah. They ushered in like this new wave of bands that now dominate the scene. And Brinks, I think, is still the headliner because they're the only band that didn't turn into a ship of Theseus. So Bläck Fööss and Höhner are technically still around, but none of the original members of both bands are in there anymore. So Super Jalitzig is.
Oh man! I mean, again, this is a Carnival classic.
Yeah.
What year was this released?
2001, I think.
It's 25 years old?
Yeah.
It feels like it was written yesterday, man. I'm going to play it for it.
There were some people, when it came out, they were kind of upset about the wrong Kölsch in the chorus.
Why? What's the wrong Kölsch?
They said Träne in the Ohren. Actually, it's Träne in the Ohren.
Okay.
Like the tears in their eyes. But it's...
I think we'll let them wear it.
Yeah, but and nowadays on stage they do Träne. So they sing it correctly. But yeah, Brinks were the sons
so this
of...
is the turning point. This is so interesting, man.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the songs before, I'm going, where did it turn into what we've got now?
Yeah, this is the turning point. And also the next one, which was a year later.
Oh, here we go, yeah.
Höhner had... The son from Tommy Engel is also in Brinks. Yeah. He's the keyboard
true,
player.
yeah, of course he is, yeah.
Yeah. And
because who's in Brinks? It's the two brothers.
The two brothers, the son of Tommy Engel and the son of Norbert Blüm, who was a CDU politician.
Oh, wow.
Who did not approve of what his son was doing. And I think the band also did not approve of what Norbert Blüm was doing. But there was a bit of
controversy.
controversy.
Is Peter and...
It's Peter and Stefan.
Stefan
Brinks, right.
Okay, so we get the Höhner then, this next song.
Viva Colonia, I think that's the one that everybody knows. Like everybody in the grandma knows Viva Colonia. Yeah,
Cologne Carnival song probably.
I think it's very interesting that Höhner did it, and I think it's very interesting that it took them 30 years to make it. Because it's so basic, right?
It is, man.
It's just so like it's got a memento mori. It's talking about how great Cologne is. It talks about how tolerant Cologne is.
Yeah.
It talks like it's
basically an
numbers.
Irish tune in the background. The way it's structured. It's a drinking song.
Yeah, it's the carnival song.
I cannot believe it took. You're right. Yeah, 30 years before they came up with this.
Right.
Go ahead.
But you know that a lot of the songs are stolen.
Yes, stolen.
Oh, we know this.
The song is stolen. Yeah.
The back was make it original.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll say, but they didn't steal it. They borrowed it.
They
give it back anytime soon.
I think what they did is kind of they took everything that happened so far from Ostermann to Brinks, and they went and they put it in a bag and then stick
the Carnival logo on it.
And it went places you would never imagine. And Höhner, they didn't try to stop it from happening. They went with it. They went to Oktoberfest. They went to Florian Silbereisen in the Schlager shows. They just fucking
went to Ireland, by the way.
Yeah, they went
to Ireland. They partnered up with a band called Guardian and Cork, and obviously Cork and Cologne are twinned. And they went over every year to Ireland. They brought this music to Ireland, and Irish people lapped it up. And then they came back and brought a few Irish tunes with them as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, okay, so I keep saying obviously, it's not obvious to people outside of Cologne. But this song starts with the organ solo as well, which is fucking class. Yeah, go skip it ahead so I don't get my copyright fucked. But that's like a good 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
Even just hearing that song, I feel like I want to get a shot. This is great. I want a drink.
Yeah. I mean, it very obviously is geared towards like partying. Like it's again, that's the Höhner recipe, right? Like,
yeah, man.
And it's like they've crammed everything in there. They've crammed the football clubs in there.
Yeah, oh man.
The ice hockey,
exactly.
The gays, the CSD, like everything. Like
literally feels like the right. Let's write down everything we know about Cologne and see if we can put it in one song. Let's get every fucking curse word we can and bang it into a song.
I think musically it's not the best, far from the best carnival song or the best Kölsch song.
It's not, but I will say. So last year I play with an orchestra called the Jung Symphony Köln, and every year we do the Höhner Classic concert.
Yeah.
So we do it. I haven't done it with the old Höhner. I've only done one so far with the new Höhner. But every year they're like, do we have to do this song? Yeah. And then the minute you do it, everyone goes fucking mad for it. Like Höhner wrote some great music and great songs over the years. Mm-hmm. This isn't one of them. Yeah. But it just slaps every time. Man. People go fucking mad for it.
Right. The next one is another Brings one because Brings thought they would one up themselves with the lyrics because people took offense at people because people in the lyrics from Super Jalitzig, they lit joints and snorted lines. But in this next song, it's called Poppekarte Dancer, and it's about a guy who can't do anything right, who you can't depend on him. But what he can do is he can fuck, he can play cards, and he can dance. So that's everything he can do.
None of the three.
Yeah.
It is a great song. I had no idea that's what it was about, by the way.
I mean, this is when Brings kind of started. On every one of their albums, they had like these hits for Carnival.
Yeah.
And then they had a couple of their typical like rock songs, but they had like enough material to play concerts and do Carnival.
I mean, also there's so much money in getting a good Carnival hit as well. That why not stick one in every record?
Yeah.
Where is it? Can I ask you? Maybe you're the man to know this. 'Cause I've never heard anyone explain it to me. Where does the whole thing with tartan come from in Brings? You know the way they wear like the Scottish tartan style things.
I don't know. They just started wearing these pants.
They didn't always do that, and then one day there's just pictures of them wearing tartan trousers.
Yeah, I don't know because
and even they had like a special gaffle bottle, which is like a tartan color on the bottle.
Yeah, right.
And I've been asking everybody where did this come from. It just looks like one day they just decided to do it.
Ask them because I think
I think a lot of the bands have the special style.
Yeah. A lot of the bands have their style, right? Yeah.
Think, oh, that are Brings.
But I mean it works because like my family are like going back. We're Scottish. I see tartan, I think Brings.
Yeah.
And I'm Scottish family, and I think Brings. So it worked. Yeah. But I wonder where did they just sit around one day and go, let's Google something, see what we can find?
Probably, yeah.
Because I thought there was going to be some great story about like going to Glasgow.
They probably wanted something that stuck out on Carnival.
Yeah.
Amongst all these costume people who are wearing like fancy clothes, they didn't want just to go and dress up as rock stars.
Yeah.
Just like the Höhner sometimes have their circus uniforms.
Yeah.
And
true.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And sometimes they just need like this one thing.
Like a USP.
The USP. Right. But the big success of Brings, they had like on their next album, Hi, they had a song which was again explicitly about cocaine. Fest Committee told them, okay, you remove that song from your album, or you're not playing anything again. And it's to this day it's not on streaming anymore. I don't know.
Seriously?
Yeah. But it's so Brings were very much the enfance terrible of this part of Carnival music. And also around that time, Bläck Fööss still had a couple of decent albums.
Bläck Fööss are still going, by the way, at that
time. Still
going,
yeah.
It's insane.
And Tommy Engel had Du bist Kölle in the mid-2000s, which was a big hit for him.
That was as late as that?
Yeah. So there's a lot of the golden age was still happening.
Yeah.
And then EMI, the record company behind all this, kind of fell on hard times.
Okay.
And in 2011, they moved out of Cologne to Berlin.
Fuck.
And this is when also the Fest Committee Kölner Karneval had to kind of react because they had to push then other bands to come in and pick up the spark.
Yeah.
And the first one that they did is Kasalla. So Kasalla is they evolved out of the ashes of another band called Peilomat, which was just a standard German rock band.
Okay.
And Flo Peil, the guitarist, he wrote a lot of songs for Brings and some other bands. He was a songwriter behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And he brought in Basti Kampmann, who was the son of the former guitarist of Die Räuber, which is the band with the Kölle Alaaf song. They are not very important for the music, which is why I left them out of the playlist. But we have to talk about Räuber and Pavaya. They are also big bands.
You kind of have to
another
mention
big band. But we can't do anything in like this
short
short time. So Kasalla is they released 2 albums in a year. They toured their asses off, and they were like bang. They were just there from minute one. And I think that's something very like new. Like you form a band in 2011. You play a show at MTC. You play at the Literatensitzung, which is like the literary committee from the thing, and you have like 2 names in there which were already part of the scene, and you write like at least 10 brilliant songs in your first year.
Yeah, I mean
and
the first 2 records is hit after hit after hit.
And Kasalla kind of became the new forefront of Carnival within a year.
That's insane.
Which is a development that we didn't see before. And I think this also started that the trend that a lot of the bands I mean, it all actually already started with Bläck Fööss and Brings.
Yeah.
They came out of other scenes. Like Flopile and his guys were like a German rock band who didn't make it, who didn't have any success. And they toured their asses off. And then I think there's a point at which every musician from Cologne who knows their shit has to decide, okay, do I want to keep doing this and spend months away from home? Or do I do this and get good money, and the farthest I need to go is Düren? I mean, there's a decision, and Kasalla made it, and they are all the better for it, because the first two albums, Immer in Bewegung and Dit Kasalla, were like full of hits. Like,
man, I even think when I'm looking back at it, 'cause these are 2011, you said 2012, that kind of thing?
Yeah, right.
Like, are all their hits from those two records?
No, Stadt mit K was from the third album.
Oh yeah, and Ali who was also from that album, isn't it?
Ali who was from the same album. Like they still have hits. Like
true.
They're still going.
They're very much going, yeah.
Yeah, but
so is this the first one we're about to listen to?
This is the first one, and as soon as it dropped, it went viral.
Yeah.
And I think that's because, you know, again, the Fest committee was on board, everyone was on board, and by that point, they were not afraid of rock bands anymore.
Yeah.
And that's when the big change happened.
And
like
also
that's when
the internet was starting to pop up as well.
Course,
so distribution became a lot easier.
And so they did all that with, I think, without a major label. They were on Pavement Records, which is a local small label.
These two records were
Yeah, they're indie. So
man, okay. I was saying,
yeah.
Because I only know Kasalla as the band they are now, possibly the biggest carnival band, or certainly one of the big ones.
Yeah.
But it's weird to think of them as an indie band.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
They were like upstarts.
That's
like,
kind of I mean,
it's very catchy.
Yeah.
And it's
because it just smacks it in the face.
Yeah, and it's not very authentically Kölsch.
No.
Like, I mean, you can hear that Basti Kampmann's family is from here.
Yeah.
And you can definitely hear that it's not their first rodeo with Kölsch.
Yeah.
There are other bands which, you know, but Kasalla are pretty authentic. But you can hear it's very much the Brings recipe, like very rock forward, but also with a Höhner twist. Like they have this this party thing where it's like call and response choruses.
They have a lot of those,
Yeah, and it's
which is great for a carnival, because even if you don't speak Kölsch, you don't know anything, you can come in and just enjoy it. It's a classic drinking song.
It is. And Kasalla did again revolutionize the scene, as did the next band, which was Cat Ballou.
Yeah.
This was a group of people from Bergisch Gladbach.
Oh, they're from Bergisch Gladbach,
who played together in like school bands.
Okay.
And they had a hit with Etiet K. Voort, and they had a lot of hits after that.
Can you translate that into?
There is no word. There is no word that I could express what I'm feeling when I think of Cologne.
Oh, is that one?
Yeah, right. And it's like very Coldplay. It's very like
Coldplay's a good comparison.
It's very alternative sounding.
Coldplay's a great comparison. Actually, I never would have thought of that.
Look at the stars. Look how they shine. Yeah. Yeah.
Man, these are the songs that I know now. So
yeah. And this was around the same year that Kasalla turned up, and so
suddenly you got this new wave of bands.
Yeah, and this was also on a small like indie label.
Yeah,
because EMI went out of Cologne and they just fucked off to Berlin and said, okay, let's.
But Cologne didn't struggle. Obviously, bands kept coming up.
Bands kept coming up, but it's like they didn't like generate controversy or revolutionize the way.
Yeah, okay.
Because Pirate and Etiet K. Voort, the songs that we heard, lyrically they're very much about partying, about Cologne. They didn't like reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
They didn't put in any drug reference. It's been done before. I mean,
they've kept it quite.
But I think that's when Carnival obviously was rejuvenated. There was a spark, but then also it lost its edge at that point.
Yeah.
So I'm still waiting for the band that comes along.
This is what I'm going to ask after this, because I'm so curious. But
so that was the two of the three bands that kind of rejuvenated Carnival in the
next one's my favorite one, by the way.
Next one's Querbeat, and Querbeat did something musically.
Man.
They're actually on a major label, but they started as a brass band.
They were at the Hochschule, weren't they? The Hochschule for Music,
right. One of them,
the
trumpet player that left last year, unfortunately, was my 8th grade music teacher.
What?
Yeah. So they're all like very academically trained musicians, obviously.
They're fucking... Man, this is a tight as fuck band.
Yeah.
They are so good.
They are tight, but I think... And they added a flavor of like New Orleans Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
Which is obviously another flavor of Carnival. And they added that to the Kölsch music.
Which were, I think... until the last song we're going to listen to, the only band I'd heard that done that. They brought in the brass, brought it in that kind of very, Mardi Gras is the right kind of vibe. I suppose that's it. Like fucking lovely big dirty slides on the trombones and really funky and but by a little bit of this.
What's interesting about Querbeat is that they not sing purely in Kölsch.
No, they're mixing between two.
Yeah, and neither do Cat Ballou anymore. Like Cat Ballou also do like songs in High German at this point, which is actually something that Höhner popularized. Like when Höhner were like with Henning Krautmacher in the 80s and 90s, they were doing like they were doing High German songs, which were Schlager songs, basically. And Wolfgang Niedecken played at the 50 years Bläck Fööss anniversary concert, and said, "I have to commend you guys for not switching over to the wrong side and staying Kölsch." It was a thinly veiled dig at Höhner from Wolfgang Niedecken there. So and the other bands like Querbeat and Cat Ballou who are incorporating more High German tunes in their songs. But
I wonder as well, is that just a play to get more popular outside of Cologne too?
I think it also,
which I wouldn't blame them for.
I think it's an effect like. People, even in Cologne, like even if you grew up here, you don't speak Kölsch much anymore.
It's a shame. It breaks my heart, man.
Yeah, it is. I think like
because I was all
lucky
these
enough.
bands in the 70s all writing fully in Kölsch all the time. Well, I suppose the carnival scene as well. We'll talk about this a bit, but the carnival scene has changed because there's a lot of students that come from other parts of Germany here.
Right.
They're not going to speak Kölsch.
Not even just the students. I mean, even if you're now like born in Cologne, but your parents weren't, or your grandparents weren't. Like even my parents didn't talk Kölsch with me,
then you wouldn't
but
be
my
Kölsch,
grandparents did. And since I lived with them for a couple of years, I understand the lyrics of the songs. But if you don't, then I think it's difficult to get behind it.
Hopefully, there's going to be a rejuvenation, man. The way we're seeing that with the Irish language.
Yeah, I think we have to really think about like Kölsch is changing. For example, a song like Tommy from An My Kantereit, which is obviously very popular, and I love what it's trying to do because it's one of the songs. All the bands we've talked about, Kasalla, Cat Ballou, Querbeat, they aren't very quiet. They are very full on. Like they're very. We needed a new anthem for the end of the night. And the anthem for the end of the night is now Tommy.
Very much
which
so.
I don't like because the chorus is just wrong.
I know, you told me it's bad Kölsch.
It's bad Kölsch. And it sounds like so insincere to me because of that. And it shouldn't, because if anything, it makes it more authentic because it's the way that he speaks Kölsch when he thinks of it. But I just think it doesn't.
That's a very interesting take,
Yeah, and it's I can't do anything about it. Like if that's your tune, then fine.
I mean, you can't avoid it at Carnival either.
You can't. No,
that is one of those moments where you all put your arms around each other and sing that one.
Yeah,
that's the end of the night now.
And then this year, I think the big hit that is not to be avoided.
This is the new one. Yeah, this is the new one.
Song by a band called Druckluft.
Who I'd never heard of until this song came out.
Yeah, Druckluft is pretty new. Yeah. So I think they saw Querbeat and said, "Hey, let's do that, but not as Kölsch." Okay. So they obviously wrote a song about Carnival, but it's not Kölsch at all. Like it's all High German.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean,
okay.
This is where the history of Kölsch music is circling back in on itself.
Yeah.
Because if anything, if there's one song on this playlist that this resembles most, it's the first one.
True.
Like, it's the one which is in High German, which is telling people about how great Carnival is, that they should come here, and it's that's.
We're back to where we started.
We're back to where we started.
That is a bit.
And
of
we're waiting for the new revolution.
What's your opinion on the latest song then?
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit too on the nose.
I agree too. It's a bit too. I feel like this is appealing a little bit to the. I've just moved over from Stuttgart. I'm 18 and this is my first carnival.
Yeah, right.
Crowd.
Yeah, that's the crowd, definitely. But you can't always just play Drink doch eine mit and
no. We need to make music for the younger people these days.
We need all sorts. It takes all sorts to make the world go round.
It does.
Jeder Jack is anders, Level on Level also.
Yeah, true.
But
let's play a little bit
also
then.
It's shit. Let's just say it's shit.
I mean, okay. In musically, the brass are tip top. They're fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean.
Very pretty.
Technically, there's nothing, but it's like this whole. Nah, I'm not a fan.
I agree with you.
I'm not a fan.
Do you know what I would view it as? A little bit like Prinzessin when that came out. It's got a similar vibe as that to me.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fine. After a few cows, I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Am I going to listen to it every day? No.
And I think that's the mistake that most of the bands today make. They try to write songs for
They're
the
deliberately
situations.
writing the big hit. Yeah, they want to get the big carnival hit.
And
in the pubs.
I think what's really like out of all the new bands that came up in the last I think 10, 15 years is I think Milieu is my favorite because they have a couple of songs in there.
Yeah, Wolkenplatz. Yeah.
Wolkenplatz and stuff. But yeah, Wolkenplatz is not even their best one. But
the most popular, yeah.
Yeah, Solange beim Lommi die Lesen is a good one. But I think what Kölsch bands now need to do, if you ask me, is
that's what I'm doing.
Who's asking me?
I'm asking you.
Is take more risks and write more about the songs that people in your city care about. Like there was. Do
you think bands are afraid to go political?
I don't think they're afraid to. I just think they're afraid to alienate their target audience. Because I mean, Querbeat and Brings did Kein Kölsch für Nazis, which is a super political song.
Which was also a great tune as well.
I think it's a shame that in 2009, the Stadtarchiv it collapsed on itself. And that was an event that shook up the city. And I know that, like in the 70s, there would have been a Bläck Fööss hit about it. But it didn't happen. Like, maybe some band wrote a song about that, which got buried on an album somewhere, but it never really got played, right? And it's such a shame, because there's a lot of stuff happening in this city.
Now that we're looking at the history of what music can do in the city, it is a bit of a shame.
It shaped it, and it's not shaping it so much anymore. Like it's just an accessory.
It's reactionary to it instead.
Andy, I wanted to say something.
Please tell us.
About Querbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have no fun to play a lot at the concerts in Karneval. They only want to make the other concerts.
Yes.
They changed their style a little bit, and they didn't want to play it, or do not want to play at
Karneval,
events in Karneval.
Yeah.
Brookloft perhaps is a new one. It's similar to Querbeat.
Yeah.
Anmein Kantereit, they are very clever. They make a Tommy song.
Yeah.
They know they get the old one, they get the new one people, the young people, the old people, and all of it because it's similar to Bläck Fööss.
Yes.
And that is just the reason, because I think then on street festivals in the past,
that's it.
In 2000, we have not so much street festivals with a lot of bands. And in 2010, it started up on every street festival. In every pub plays a band from the 100 bands in Cologne. And then they will go bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And that's the reason, because we have so much bands in the moment. We have the biggest, something from the biggest one.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of small ones.
There are a lot of great bands about the city, yeah. That's a really interesting point. So in case that didn't pick up on the microphones, Querbeat are trying to do concerts outside of Cologne. Yeah. And I think they resent the label of a carnival band a little bit.
They don't play the...
Yeah,
they don't play the...
They view it as nearly a stepping stone to go on to somewhere else, which is a shame.
And they play Rock am Ring.
Because exactly. Because we were talking there, it felt like carnival bands for a while. It was the other way around. You would go out, you would come back here to make your fame, to make your money, to have a great career. So they're making music for that, and it is a little bit of a shame. You can hear that in the music. It is more mainstream. It's more down the middle. It's not going to offend anybody. They're good tunes.
Yeah, but it went from.
But have they lost the soul of Carnival?
It went from Carnival being the celebration that celebrated the music
to the other way around.
It's the other way around. Yeah. And
that's a good point. Yeah.
I
The
know.
Sitzung, the events, not so much audience in 2005. Then Coca-Cola came. I make the Sitzung, the event, with a lot of bands, and then people go to the concerts, to the events, to the Sitzungs.
Yeah.
And the people come, and they were full audience.
Yes.
And then a lot of young people in Cologne think, it's easy to make music, and a lot of people come to the Sitzung.
Yeah. Right. I think
very small Sitzungs in Cologne in the Fedels.
Yeah, there's a lot of small Sitzungs which we haven't talked about. If we talk about Sitzungs, we are talking about the big ones. But there's a lot of small ones which book smaller bands.
They're literally everywhere.
But I think there's also a bit of like this whole thing, like with the attention economy, the event economy having changed quite a bit. Capitalism is running rampant in the.
It's killing music, man. In that sense.
Yeah, but
I mean, we're seeing it here.
Yeah.
What's happening?
This is like this playlist is an example.
Perfect example. It's actually made me a little bit sad now when I'm looking at this, when I think of how great carnival music was before, and not that it's not great now, but the direction it's went. I'm a little bit sad about it.
And I think the the only way we can stop that from happening, or the thing that we can do, is like talk more about music in Köln, because especially in my circle, like I'm a music nerd, and I read like Musik Express and all these papers and all these websites, and I like rank David Bowie albums in my free time. I have a podcast talking about music.
You do, yeah.
And I think the thing is, we need to talk a bit more about what we like about carnival music and how great it can be. Because even like the early Bläck Fööss stuff, it's still overlooked in my circles, which I'm mad at. I'm super mad at. And I'm very grateful to have been given like this opportunity.
This has been great for me.
To talk about how good this can be, and how good it used to be, and how good we can make it again. Because it's not like we don't have
make carnival great again.
Yeah, no, don't. Just, I think carnival can be anything you want, and that's the thing. Like, it's not just getting drunk on the street.
It
is
really
that,
not.
but it's also more than that.
It's so much more, man. It's so much more. Like, I think my first few carnivals were that. They were just going down, drinking, and not having a clue what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for it.
But you fall in love with the culture and history of this city.
Yeah.
And even, like, look at the pub we're sitting in and the way we're talking about this. This is proper history. And this is the side of Cologne I adore. This is the real part of Cologne. So, yeah, I'd like to see more of it myself. And to be fair, it took me a while to get into it, but the more I discover about it, it's a rabbit hole you can't wait to go down. And I think one thing that's so mad to think about all this is this is a city of like 1 million people.
Yeah.
All this stuff we just talked about, there's just over 1 million people.
What we heard, like, there was not one song that was sung by a woman. Like, there are songs, there are songs like Campus Finest, Metropolis, Couleur back then, like all those female-fronted carnival bands. They should. I think I would be so happy if we had like. I would be so happy if they got played more.
And
if there were a bit more of this part of this evolution, and also the genre diversity. It was all like very. Like, apart from like the rap song from Bläck Fööss,
more
like there was there's Motorist, but I think, like, especially at the Sitzung, there should be more musical variety.
Yeah.
There should be hip hop. There should be electronic music, maybe.
Which is reflective of what's going on in the city as well.
Yeah.
These scenes exist in Cologne.
And there should be. I think Planche Malheur has a person of color who is their frontman.
Yeah.
And apart from that, there's like very little.
It is very
kind
white,
of
man.
it's very white. It's very male. I don't think it's diverse enough. And maybe if we let these people go to the front a little bit more, if Fest Committee put a little bit more money in Campus Finest, that they probably would.
Yeah.
In, like a band like Höhner. I think that.
But it feels like
some
revolution
power in
is going to be a key point of it, isn't it? Like, we've seen throughout the history of carnival music, it's the people who revolt against the establishment that get known. So we have to value that. And whatever's going mainstream or whatever we're told to listen to is probably going to be shite in a few years. The best bands are going to be the ones we don't appreciate right now, and then 10 years, like, fuck, how did we miss them?
Yeah.
So they are, revolution, rebellion against that.
Please support your local carnival band. Please, please sing in Kölsch, because that's
beautiful
what I
language,
miss the most.
Well, man, I think we're going to have to wrap this up. We have talked for ages, and it's been fucking class.
Thank you very much.
Do you want to plug anything or tell anyone about where to find you?
Sorry, everyone, for laboring a cotlet on your buckle, but
let's run it right back on.
My job.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
and then listen to Lass mal hören, my podcast. Listen to Talking Kaputt, my other podcast where I'm a regular guest. And
fucking class, man.
Yeah. Other than that, celebrate Carnival for me this year, because I'm not going to be joining due to health reasons this year. But
I'll have one for you.
Yeah, please have one for me.
Yeah.
Drink doch eine mit.
I just about to say that. Fucking got there too fast. Well, thank you very much for everyone listening. I hope you all really enjoyed this episode. This has been great, man. I have fucking loved this. It has been fascinating. So
it's my pleasure.
And a quick shout out to the Hammond Bar.
Yeah.
Obviously, if anyone's in Cologne, you should be coming here. Fucking great.
They have a very strict door policy, but if you manage to get in, congratulations.
Well, Carnival,
yeah.
By any time, come and spend your money here. It's a great bar.
Improved costumes.
Improved costumes.
Okay, improved costumes.
Not only buying costumes,
you have to make an effort with your costumes.
Yeah.
Okay, my costume last year was
it Rudi Völler?
I did Rudi Völler one day, and then I did Jerry Halliwell from the Spice Girls.
But do you know how Rudi Völler shoots his goal?
No.
You have to do it. If you are here, show the people how shoot Rudi Völler.
How does Rudi Völler shoot his goals? I mean, would I get accepted if I had a Rudi Völler costume? I can live my costume. I have the mustache already, so it's fine. But with Rudi Völler, is that an acceptable costume?
Yeah.
Okay, there we are. High standards. I love
High
it.
standards.
I love it. High standards. I'd be alright with that. Right. Well, thank you both for this. And yeah,
Thank you,
guys,
Gary.
check it all out. And yeah, I'll see you soon. See you next week if I survive Carnival.
Yeah.
Get your man the flute to play something, the fuck.
Been for crocky,